For the past 5 years, I've kind of built a name remaking old video games, and along the way, I built a lot of tools to speed that process up. The more that I remade games, the more I kind of started to ask, why can't indie developers make these large, ambitious games? You know, the type of games that Rockstar, EA, or Bethesda make. Well, in the past, it was because indies didn't have access to the same game engines that these studios had. But then Unreal Engine came along and they said, hey, instead of 100 different studios making 100 different game engines that only they can use, why not have 100 times more people working on one game engine that anyone can use? And it makes a lot of sense. Far more people can work on one game engine, so it's more powerful, and people that couldn't afford their own game engine now get the same engine that the pros use. And this is amazing, right? Now indies can make AAA games. Problem solved. Well, not quite. You see, indie developers did not start dropping AAA games when they got a AAA engine. Why not? Well, Unreal Engine is a game engine, but it is not a game. A game is combat, quests, dialogue, maps, settings, save systems, cinematics, interaction, developer tools, and much more. And Unreal Engine can make all of those things if you spend millions of dollars and years of development time, but it doesn't come with those things. You have to make them. Take Hogwarts Legacy, for example. They had Unreal Engine, but to turn Unreal Engine into an actual game cost over $100 million. And this is because Unreal Engine developers are really expensive, and you have to hire them for years. What I realized was, as good as Unreal Engine is, it almost recreated the exact problem it was trying to solve. Many studios all share one engine now, which is great, but then Hogwarts Legacy, for example, will spend tens of millions of dollars writing a game framework with amazing spellcasting that no other game gets to use. And unless you also have tens of millions of dollars, you cannot make games on that level. So why not do what Unreal did, but for game frameworks? Instead of everyone trying to make their own framework, one company should make an extensible game framework with combat, quests, dialogue, save systems, and so on, and then everyone can use that instead. And what you're seeing here is exactly that, stock Unreal Engine 5 with my new tool, Narrative Pro 2. This is not your typical hack together blueprint project. This tool is a serious effort to roll all of the latest UE5 stuff Epic use themselves on games like Fortnite. We're using gameplay ability system for combat, common UI for multi-platform menus, contextual animations, and motion matched animation, all the latest stuff that smaller developers are usually locked out of using. To date, no one's really pulled this off, but I spent 7 years, I hired a team, and I worked really hard to do this because if someone pulls this off, we can let solo and indie developers make games that just previously would not have been possible. And today, we're going to try and make a game like that. Before we get all AAA with the art, I'm going to enable Narrative Pro in a new Unreal Engine project, and that's it. You basically have a whole game framework now. You can skip a lot of that boring, tedious stuff. A cornerstone of large AAA games is having complex NPCs. Indies will either scrap NPCs or make much more basic ones. There aren't enough AI programmers to go around, and indies cannot afford them, but in Narrative Pro we've done that work for you. We'll make an NPC, define the NPC's details, and then drag an NPC spawner in, and we're done. We have an NPC that can do all kinds of complex stuff. We have essentially teleported 9 months into our game's development. AAA level NPCs absolutely need to speak to the player, and this again would be months of work, but with Pro, we'll make a new dialogue for our NPC, and we'll give him some dialogue lines.
Hello, I'm Manny.
Add some dialogue options for the player, and some NPC responses.
Hello, I'm Manny.
What are you doing here?
I could ask you the same question.
And even select cinematic shots.
Hello, I'm Manny.
Narrative Pro lets you build each NPC out of activities, so no two NPCs have to feel the same. We include loads of pre-made behavior out of the box. Let's give Manny the follow activity and modify his dialogue to add a follow goal when we talk to him.
Hello, I'm Manny.
Come with me.
Fine, but we better be going somewhere exciting.
Just like that, in 5 minutes we have followers, but I also want to mention saving. Save systems are notoriously complicated to make, but saving the entire world with narrative is just built right in. That includes NPCs and their goals. Let's save here, I'll quit the game, and when I come back in, the world's just as I left it.
I am sworn to hoist your luggage.
Stop following me.
Oh, all right then. I'll be here when you need me.
In AAA games, NPCs don't just stand there though, they have schedules, jobs, lives, and this is all key to making your world feel real. In Narrative Pro, NPCs can have schedules that hook into the time of day system. Let's say Manny is a blacksmith. We'll make him smith swords during the day, sit and rest in the afternoon, and sleep at night. Finally, so we can visually see the time of day, we'll add Ultra Dynamic Sky and hook it up to Narrative Pro, something you can do in 5 minutes. And just like that, 30 minutes into a fresh project, we have an NPC with a schedule. This is why I'm so passionate about this game framework idea. Without a framework like this, you would literally have spent a year making Pro 2 level NPCs. Here, you spend 30 minutes, you just go. These schedules are typically just goals that have a low score on them. This means if we ask Manny to follow us, he still will, and if we tell him to stop following us, he will just seamlessly go back to whatever he is supposed to be doing at that time of day. This is a nightmare with stock Unreal 5. You need to manually save what the NPC was supposed to be doing and resume it, whereas with Pro's utility AI, NPCs can just have as many goals at one time as you like. Pro 2 has an interaction system built on Epic's gameplay ability system that works for both players and AI, and all these interactions you can see are demo ones that come with the plugin. We give you combat built on gameplay ability system with many types of combat and AI and player combat support. Let's create a new bandit NPC, give them a pistol and some attack behavior, change their color, and spawn a few in. By marking bandits as enemies, they will automatically attack me, and if we assign Manny to the same faction as my character, he will help me fight the bandits. Come with me.
Fine, but we better be going somewhere exciting.
Notice how Manny went from his schedule to then following me, to attacking, back to following, then back to his schedule again. This is so effortless because in Narrative Pro, NPCs have awareness about everything they can do and decide what to do based on scoring, known as utility AI. You need something like this because stock Unreal Engine 5 doesn't really have anything for this, and it's extremely limiting when you want to make more complex NPCs. To prove how we are really teasing AAA here, I'm going to take literally that setup we just made, I'm going to paste it into this British city map by Polysphere. It's really Unreal Engine 5 to thank for all this. Our tool is just providing that gameplay layer for you. But speaking of Unreal Engine's power, let's take things up a notch. Manny, you've got a face.
You're goddamn right.
Epic and other companies like Rococo have been working on making AAA animation accessible to indies as well, and our tool can totally take advantage of that, getting us much closer to that AAA feel. Facial animation used to be the reserve of massive studios with millions of dollars to spend, and you can now generate facial animation in Unreal Engine with an iPhone. Except now, in 5.5, you don't even need an iPhone. These two facial shots were generated using nothing but audio, and Manny's audio I generated with AI in 11 Labs.
You're goddamn right.
We have a bunch of tutorials on the Narrative Tools channel, and one of them shows you how to set this effect up in like 30 minutes, so it's very easy to achieve this sort of result. Rococo didn't pay me, but they did give me their mocap suit to try, and I was able to easily generate body animations that look great with Narrative Pro's seamless cutscenes. These two characters gesturing, it's literally just me in a mocap suit. This is another piece of tech. It used to cost millions of dollars, and now is like, I believe, a couple $1,000s, the suit. You can see by using Narrative Pro and adding the art in, we've made kind of a modern shooter type game, but because the framework can support any type of combat, changing the direction of the game, it's basically just an art thing. This is the exact same project, but by assigning different level and character art, we've completely changed the feel of the game. Maybe your game doesn't even need weapons. Because the framework is all in one, we can easily provide all of the main UI for you as well. Main menus, settings menus, input remapping, save prompts, maps, HUD, skill trees. There's simply no reason that 100 different studios need to go and all write these pieces of UI themselves. By using Pro, you can just extend our ones and modify them if you really need that. You may have seen the minimap was empty, but we simply need to run our map tile generator and the minimap automatically shows these tiles. You can export these to Photoshop if you want to stylize your minimap differently.
We really handle all the main pieces of UI like this. There's no reason that 100 different studios all need to go and write their own maps. The UI is made to be completely tweakable to your game. You can move things around, add or remove pieces of UI, or even change the entire theme out. And this sort of stuff is important because if you're making a framework that lets anyone make any genre of game they want, you need that flexibility built in. And for more specific tweaks, Unreal Engine 5's widget editor actually makes this pretty easy because you can usually just drag and drop stuff to where you want it. So you can see that we've been able to make gameplay that is well beyond what solo or indie developers typically could, but the gameplay is really nothing without quests, missions, whatever you want to call them, and a story to progress through, right? So we give you a quest editor that lets you make basically any type of quest you could ever want to make, and it's really easy to use. You basically just build quests out of tasks. You can have as many quests running as you want, so it works really well for sort of Witcher or Elder Scrolls feel games where you have an open world full of many different quests that you might be doing at one time. What you're seeing here is a big open world that I have had made, and basically we're going to make a quest. I ended up completely winging the quest and just making it up as I went along, but basically the bandits, the evil bandits, stole Marco's cupcake, and you, Seth and Luca, have to infiltrate the bandit camp and basically get the cupcake back for him. I would not recommend writing your quests as you go along, otherwise you will end up with very absurd quests like this one. But either way, it should be a good sort of opportunity to show you how easy it is to actually make quests and missions and all the sort of features that you would expect in missions. Probably the biggest of those being the ability to make NPCs do different things during the quest, run somewhere with you or attack some enemies or whatever you need the quest to basically do. This all turned out really well, and this map ended up becoming the demo map for Narrative Pro. If you follow the install guide, this is the map that you come into, and it lets you not only check out all the features, but actually take a look at how they work. To answer whether we've achieved AAA, I think gameplay-wise this is really getting you most of the way, and we're just getting started. We're adding climbing in the next update, multiplayer support later in the year, and of course you will still need to have Unreal Engine experience if you want to write your own custom features. But I think what Narrative Pro is going to do is eliminate that funding element somewhat and make it more about whether you can write a great story, script interesting quests, and make a world worth exploring. And this still takes a lot of time and skill. And maybe one day AI will automate that too, but right now, I kind of hope we don't automate that part of games. I love that brilliant writers wrote the stories of the Elder Scrolls or Deus Ex that I grew up playing, but I'm hoping this tool will lift people into the position to maybe try and tell one of those stories themselves, without being a studio with $100 million in funding. Thanks for your time. If you're making a game, I think you'll really like this tool, and you can get it on Fab now. I'll link it below, and we'll link the Narrative Tools channel where we have tutorials on how to use the tool. It would also be cool to remake another game at some point, and Pro 2 gives me a really good platform to try to do that. So if you have any suggestions, leave them below.